Hey guys, Wrestling Throwdown here. I'm Haley and this is Joe, and we are going to talk about Raw last night, the Slammies. I'll be honest right now, I was not happy with a lot of the awards, and especially the last one, and neither was Joe. Um, it just seems like the Slammies are just kind of like, almost like, I don't even know. Like this one, it felt like it wasn't too rigged this time. It felt like it was because people were even doing like reposting votes and stuff to see if it was actually accurate, and it looked accurate. But it was stupid. I feel like some of these people who were just voting for people were just because it's their favorite, and they didn't even like care who won, and it was just stupid.
It's like the equivalent, like the NBA has fan voting for the All-Star game starters, and last year they voted in Kobe Bryant, who was hurt, and every year they do that. They'll just vote in a name because they like the name. So I'm not surprised at some of these picks, according to the fans, but they got some of it right as well. Like they didn't botch every single one. If these results are to be credible, I still have my doubts, especially Roman.
Yeah, I know one was rigged last year. I can just tell it was rigged. I mean, it wasn't a big award, but AJ and John Cena, the Kiss of the Year, obviously they did that for the whole Dolph thing and the Vicky thing and her to say something about John Cena and everything like that. So a couple of them they are going to try to, especially if it involves the storyline, they're going to do something where it's, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Seth Green comes out, and Miz and Mizdow come out then, and he starts talking about Miz was trying to say that he was best friends with Seth Green and everything like that, and he's an A-lister and everything like that, and Seth says that he calls Mizdow the A-lister, and he says that he's the one that has talent, and Mizdow goes like, "Call me." It was so funny. And then they announced the awesome moment of the year, and that's not announced yet. But I like what won the awesome moment of the year. I thought it was right on the spot. This one was one of the ones I liked. What did you think about it, Joe?
Well, yeah, with the Icon making his debut in the WWE, I mean, this is decades in the making. This had people actually openly weeping. It's funny, people that probably didn't even watch him in TNA. It was a great moment. It was a historic moment, and you saw a few Survivor Series moments kind of make the oh my god, the cuts rather. But he wasn't on the XIN here, but I feel like Sting winning this award was cool. Like, it would have been nice to see him accept it, but that's going to be an ongoing theme throughout the night. No Stinger on hand, but we do see your boy come out and accept it.
Yeah, and this was announced after Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. They had another match, and obviously they made Seth look, which I don't know why they had to do this, because Seth has beaten him a couple times cleanly, so they had to, I don't know, it just seems like more and more they just keep thinking because Seth is getting up there, now they think, maybe he has to cheat to get all his big victories, and it just... Well, especially because Dolph Ziggler just had the biggest, obviously, win of his career and everything like that. So that's probably why they probably didn't want to give him a clean win after that, because then it would have been like, oh, Seth maybe should have won, So they probably wanted to make him look like, oh yeah, he cheated because he almost cheated because, whatever.
They're trying to build
yeah.
They're trying to for Ziggler, but I mean, Ziggler's on fire right now. He's one of my dark horse picks to win the Rumble, and I've always supported him, and I'd really love to see him versus Lesnar at the Rumble or Mania. I think they'd have a great matchup. People talk about Lesnar and Orton, and some key matchups we're really not going to get as Lesnar's run with the WWE seemingly coming to an end. But, who knows what's going to happen. Will Cena actually lose? Will Cena use it as a pulpit to bring back the Authority? Because they're going to have to figure out some way for Cena to bring back the Authority. Now they done did that storyline.
Yeah, and where was the anonymous GM tonight, too? That was interesting.
I think that was a one and done. I think they realized the fans were upset, and the rumor is Jericho's hosting next week. So I think they're just gonna mix up the hosts, and I think it was just that the
Yeah, I
throwback.
think they need to do that. I mean, even just bring John Laurinaitis back. I actually like John Laurinaitis, though. I thought he was pretty funny last night.
I'm
But
general managers, but like for some reason, John Laurinaitis felt fresh. I don't know why that is.
yeah, I just
But
think he's funny. I don't know. He's just funny. He's good to see now. I mean, yeah, he got annoying after a while, but he's good to see once he makes this once appearance every once in a while.
television. He's a ham. I mean, he's someone who never made it as a wrestler. His brother was obviously Road Warrior Animal and everything, and his nephew plays in the NFL. So he's got some star power attached to his family, but he's always been a backstage, aficionado.
Yeah, he works on talent. I don't know if he does anymore. I don't think he does, but I know when stuff was going in and everything like that, John Laurinaitis was in charge of that when Seth sent him his videos and everything like that.
The executive vice president relations. No, I don't think he's VP of talent anymore. I think it's Mark Carrano. Or I think it's a combination of him and Hunter, because I think people kind of wear multiple hats.
They did say that he was Triple H was in charge of that because with the whole Kurt Angle thing and everything, and he Kurt Angle going behind his back and asking Vince, and then Triple H getting mad and saying, "Oh, I'm in charge of that, so you need to talk to me," and everything, and that's what started between those whole two.
Tune in Destination America to see your Olympic hero starting this year.
And then the winner, obviously, they announced for the Awesome Award is the Sting debut. And Seth gets mad and he accepts the Slammy. It's funny because Seth actually, he accepted 2 Slammies of the night and won 4, but none of the ones that he won were actually on the pre-show or on, they were just, those random ones that they kept coming up and everything like that. So it was kind of sad, but he won the most Slammies, so I guess there's that.
He certainly had a strong year. I mean, I thought they overdid it with him taking other people's awards. Like, I remember when the Angry Miz Girls Award, when Angry Miz Girl won Fan Reaction of the Year a couple years ago when the Miz was on top. Like, sometimes it makes sense to do that, but, like, I thought it was a bit overkill here. Like I said, I would have liked to actually see Sting there. I know he only did a 6 appearance. His deal is reported for only 6 appearances. So get excited, people. We got 5 more appearances of the Stinger. Woo! Woo! It's showtime! Get ready, little Stingers. 5 more appearances. So, and that's not Sting or Brock Lesnar's fault. It's WWE's fault for signing stupid contracts. But, so I would have liked to see Mr. Borden and his comments maybe accelerating and planting the seeds for him and Triple H or something like that. So I would have liked to see that, especially Sting. A few people I would have liked to see come out, Jericho, but definitely Sting. That would have been a nice way to kick things off.
Yeah, because he accepted one on the pre-show, the Randy Orton one, and then he accepted the Sting one right at the show. So
what the hell is Randy? I mean, like, this is getting ridiculous.
That's what's so funny. They said that he was there at Survivor Series and they were going to have him sent out, but then they went with the Sting thing instead. They thought that would be more surprising and shocking, which it was. And so he's ready. He's ready to come back. He finished his movie and everything like that. So maybe I'm thinking he's going to come back at TLC and cost probably Seth his match. So John Cena can win.
Randy Orton helping John Cena. What we do, the Breakfast Club helps each other yet again.
Kofi Kingston versus Stardust. And obviously the New Day is still a face for right now. Looks like they're going to be feuding with Stardust and Goldust because I think they said that's the pre-show too.
Yeah.
New Day versus Stardust and Goldust, yeah.
We planted the seeds for that in Tag Team Turmoil last week, and I mean, it's fine. It's a good beginner feud. I didn't mind the promo New Day cut last week. At least we got a promo out of them. I'd like to see more of that to establish their identity, because right now they're just like a bunch of guys dancing and like, New Day! Like, there's no real identity behind it. Like, obviously the vignettes with the choir and everything, and now it's just like they're just happy, positive people. And, like, why not, like, kind of like channel like a Simon Dean kind of character if you're Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods or even Big E, and like, you know, utilize that in your talk time. I feel like they need to utilize more promos just because I'm rooting for New Day. I'm one of the few people probably rooting for New Day, like, because I like these guys and I want them all to get a fair shake. But I just feel like they have no identity right now. It's like when Los Matadors, you know, they're this close to being 3MB if they're not careful.
Yeah, the talking definitely needs to move up. Because if they just keep having these random matches, especially with this feud too, like, give it a good meaning of this feud, you know, don't just have random matches and then just keep doing it like the Usos and Stardust and Goldust did. That's what was so bad about the, you know, and that's why I love that they're having finally a feud, a storyline purpose with the Usos and Miz and Mizdow. It's great. It's working good with Naomi in it, and hopefully there is talk about maybe Maurice coming in and maybe doing something.
At least a one-off kind of spot. Like, they gotta, like, just for Miz to boast, like, see, here's my wife, y'all forgot, you know, former diva, former Divas champ, former Playboy girl, blah, blah. She'd come out and talk French and just cut her little heel shtick real quick. And, like, you know, there's some people that like Maurice out there. Like, it'd be nice to see her on TV. I wouldn't want her back every week, but for a one-shot,
I like her. I miss her. I'm a fan of her, so... I'm a fan of Miz too, and a lot of people don't like Miz. So.
I think Summer Rae wishes she could be the heel that Maurice was, because I see that potential in Summer Rae, but for some reason it's just not reaching the surface over there. But you know, it'd be nice to see. It'd be great to see at least maybe a one-match deal with Naomi and her. I don't see it being a long-term thing, because I think they want to focus on the young girls, and we saw AJ in her promo, we'll talk about that a little while, put over the young talent and not even acknowledge any of the current talent besides the young ones.
Yeah, that's the only thing I did like about AJ last night.
Yeah. That was genuine.
Yeah. Kofi Kingston won, and John Laurinaitis, people power! He comes out, and he makes the surprise return of the year. None of the surprises were good this year. I didn't like 3 out of the 4, so I was really glad that this was the only one who won. The person who won, obviously, Ultimate Warrior, was the only one I liked. And I don't like The Rock. I don't like Hogan. They keep coming back. I don't want to see them. And Batista, I mean, I don't really hate Batista, but it's just like they didn't have any good surprise returns this year. I think next year will be better with that.
Here's the thing with Hogan and Batista, and why was Rob Van Dam nominated for that? Or Jericho, who had a nice surprise return over the summer. Even The Miz had a nice surprise return.
Mm-hmm.
Or AJ Lee.
They technically could have been.
Yeah, but they split that up, so that eliminated him. I mean, to me, they promoted Hogan, you know, before, so it wasn't a surprise. They promoted Batista, and that was stupid. If he had come back in the Royal Rumble, and you know, like instead of like them promoting it with the vignettes and then him doing the stupid promo in Ohio, which ruined the whole thing, and then obviously him winning the Rumble, and we've heard the CM Punk podcast and all the inside stories on that whole situation. But you know, I'm a Dave supporter. I'm one of the few people who have stuck by Dave Batista. I think me and you can respect each other on that. Like, you know, the people who we respect, we're not gonna like kill them or throw them under the bus. Like, or you know, we'll be fair and critical, but we're not gonna like, you know, do it unfairly. And I just think Batista, it wasn't a surprise return again, like because they gave it to us in the vignettes. Mm-hmm. Ultimate Warrior, yeah, I mean, the fact that Ultimate Warrior even came back to WWE, the unfortunate, obviously, passing the day after the Raw promo was even more tragic, but, I mean, just, it was the right thing to do. You know, again, you didn't see the Warriors family come out. I don't know if I would have liked to see that or not, like, you know, let them get on with their lives. But it wasn't, you know, I hope they send the Slammy to them. You know, I'm sure the family continues to get support from WWE with the DVD sales and everything else. So it was a classy moment. I thought that was one of the better moments, personally.
Yeah, one of the only Slammies I did like.
Yeah,
that one.
Definitely. Like critical as you are, that was technically a surprise return. No one saw that coming.
Yeah.
It was a one-shot deal, but it qualifies as a surprise return because it was a surprise return. And technically, he did at him and Austin at WrestleMania too, because all we expected was Hogan. Why weren't
Yeah.
Austin made it?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, and that's what's so funny too, because I know that I don't know if it's the next award or the award after, but the one where my brother wanted the Austin, Hogan and Rock thing to win. I'm just like, no. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just I never liked Hogan. I never liked Rock. The only big guy that I really actually liked back in the day, other than Triple H, Shawn Michaels, obviously Ultimate Warrior and them and Ric Flair and all that, was Austin. I didn't like Hogan. I didn't like The Rock. Obviously these two popular people. I like the people who are underrated, and that's who I cheer for. I don't like the people who are like, and that's kind of the thing with Roman Reigns too. People are like in love with Roman Reigns, and this doesn't like obviously make me hate him, but I mean I never liked him. I wouldn't have cared if people hate him or love him. It's just I'm not a fan of him.
As an objective observer, Roman Reigns does have the it factor, which I do believe Dean and Seth also have. They have it in different ways. It's hard to describe the quote-unquote it factor. Yeah, it's Bobby Roode's gimmick. But, like, it's so much more than that. Like, that it factor that made Hogan the icon that he was. Like, obviously, charisma, promos, and Steve Austin had that. Mick Foley had that big time. You can go down the list. Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah. But, Ultimate Warrior had the it factor. Sting had the it factor. Sting wasn't the greatest technician in the world, but he had the it factor. When he changed the gimmick to the Crow, it had an aura to it. And Roman Reigns has that aura. But, I mean, with The Rock, like, I get what you're saying with The Rock. I understand how newer fans feel. He comes in, he takes people's spot. He probably shouldn't have beat. I mean, the point Punk made about, like, him having to put over all the part-timers, I think it was a fair point. And I think, how is anybody going to advance if you're just going to have your current roster guys put over the part-timers and no one's ever going to get a win besides maybe Bryan against Triple H at Mania? No one's ever going to get a win against the part-timers. So, I think Punk raised some fair points on that one. And I understand why people use Rocky as a scapegoat. I mean, look, I thought him versus Cena the first year was entertaining stuff. I didn't think it should have had a rematch. I thought freaking, a triple threat with Punk should have been the best way to do that, personally, because Punk was the hottest entity of the year, and they could have, milked that into Mania and, all of that, but Rock had to get the title, of course. But, I mean, and stuff like that I think, like, The Rock still can entertain. Like, The Rock still has it. Like, you can't tell me that whole Rusev deal wasn't entertaining. Yeah, I mean, he's still where Hogan is not entertaining anymore. Hogan is painful to watch. Hogan is just like where I mean, he always kind of was, but now it's just sad. I mean, I agree with you with Hogan. I mean, I go back to the '80s. I never was a true Hogan fan. I was a Macho Man guy. I was an Undertaker fan. Like people like that. Jake the Snake Roberts, even Ultimate Warrior to a certain extent. So like I get it. I was never a Hogan guy. When he turned heel with NWO. I respected him more then, and I got more into him. But I always more liked Razor, Razor Ramon and Kevin Nash and X-Pac and the rest of the NWO guys. Hogan was a pivotal part of it, but
it's so funny too because I've been watching wrestling for I think almost 12 years now, so I know my old school stuff and everything like that. And it's funny. I like a lot of the guys that you named, like Kevin Nash and X-Pac. It's funny because my brother, every time he sees X-Pac come out, like Return or something like that, I don't know why he has such a huge problem with him. Like, everyone I've talked to, they like him and everything. My brother cannot stand him. I don't know what it is. He can't, like, explain. He just says, like, there's something about him that he just doesn't like him, and I never understood that.
Waltman's kind of a grubby dude. I mean, I'm not trying to shoot on Sean Waltman. I'm a fan of his work. But, I mean, he's had his drug problems. You hear the shoot that China had on him, China's little video shoot. So, like, there's some unsavory stuff out there about him, and we'll leave it at that. But I've always been a fan, of X-Pac, and I think X-Pac did pave the way for guys like Seth Rollins and, even the Jerichos and a lot of the littler guys. He was one of the first little guys that was accepted in the mainstream, even going back to being the 1, 2, 3 kid, back in the early days. So I think X-Pac's a pioneer. I think he'll get in the Hall of Fame as part of DX. Probably not NWO. I think NWO will just keep it Nash, Hall, and Hogan. I don't think anyone else will get in on that one. But I think X-Pac will get in if they do the DX getting in at some point. But, I mean, like, I get why your brother and others would feel that way. I mean, he's one of those guys, you either love him or hate him. There's no in-between on him. Like, and that's actually good in a way because there's always a reaction. X-Pac's not one of those guys. I think the younger generation could learn a thing or two from Waltman. It's that he always garnered that reaction, and like that's kind of the key. Like you could work your ass off, and Seth's starting to get it, and obviously Dean, you know, Bray Wyatt. But a lot of these guys, Cesaro, a lot of these other guys, they need to realize, like, you know, Bryan had to adapt his style, like, and start feeding more off the reaction than the technical. You know, it's an adaptation. It's not easy to do, but when you master it, you can become a star.
Yeah. Alrighty. This was good. Seth and his little JJ security backstage. I love how they're calling the JJ security. And Paul Heyman came. And
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. And he kept saying, like, if you beat John Cena and everything like that, and then Seth goes, no, when I beat him, will I be next in line? And he goes, I have the briefcase, and you won't see it coming when I cash in, if I do want to cash in on Brock. And Paul says it does not matter when he cashes in because Brock will be champion forever. And he agrees that Seth is the future. And to make sure John Cena is in the past, so he says, take care of it tonight, make sure no one cares about him, and make sure all eyes are on you.
And Cena even making statements almost like similar to what Sami Zayn's saying down in NXT. Oh, you know, if Rollins, you know, I'll step away, all kind of teasing stuff like that. And, like, you know, I wonder if, you know, maybe, you know, they realize Cena's yesterday's news, finally get it through their head. And, like, they actually pull the trigger on Seth at Royal Rumble. And I wonder, and here's my question to you, Haley, if the CM Punk to UFC stuff is going to cost Brock Lesnar.
I know did you see the whole WWE wishes CM Punk the best of luck? Did you see that?
I didn't see it. I heard about it. Someone posted. I heard about it.
They're just so stupid. Oh my god. And I mean, he might. I don't even know what's gonna happen with CM Punk. So he might fail. He might do great. You know.
Can I be honest? As an MMA fan, we don't talk MMA much, and I don't know if you watch it or not. But I actually, believe it or not, am a huge fan of MMA. I haven't watched it much in the past year because I feel like just a lot of things are boring me. I watched a lot of the women's fights; those are actually like what I watch mainly now. Rousey's one of my favorites, but I think he's gonna get killed. You want my honest opinion? I think he's gonna get slaughtered. I think this is great for UFC because they get a big name and it's gonna increase their buy rates. People, even if this is a freak show, people are gonna want to see this, the unknown factor. Like, and he could talk. Had they hired him just to be a commentator, which they do have a lot of their fighters be commentators, and I wouldn't be shocked if he does do some commentating on their pre-show stuff and, you know, their weekly show deals on Fox Sports, whatever they, you know what I mean? They have a few different shows they do. And I wouldn't be surprised if Punk, like a lot of the talkers, including Chael Sonnen, his good friend, who obviously had a part in bringing him into UFC. You know, Punk supposedly knows jiu-jitsu, supposedly he's trained with the Gracies. I mean, he's friends with, obviously he's a wrestler, but that doesn't mean he's an amateur wrestler. Like, you know, he's friends with Chael Sonnen, who does have an amateur background, but that doesn't mean, you know, what has he really done? Like, I think Seth Rollins has probably done way more CrossFit than CM Punk has done MMA. I mean, what, on his few weeks he had off, would he roll around with the Gracies, like those 2 months he had off? Like, what, you know, and obviously he's been off for a year, so maybe he's been working out, but I don't know. I think he did it for the money. I watched all the interviews. I watched the post after UFC 181, the post conference, the press conference with him, and he looked overwhelmed. It did not look like, you know, they were calling him Phil and everything. This is real reporters. Not to say wrestling reporters, not real reporters, but this is ESPN. This is like, you know, CNN. This is all the big-time sports media. And, like, you know, they're asking him about his training and his background. He looked a bit like he was still articulate in himself. He's obviously a very well-spoken individual. But he looked very nervous, and I don't mean to, hijack the show with CM Punk talk here, but obviously it's a big discussion point. I think he's gonna get his ass kicked. He may get his ass kicked by the fucking Green.
Too. My brother thinks that he is gonna be way too into himself, and he thinks that it's gonna be not as hard, or like only a little bit harder. And he goes like, "This is real shit." He goes, "Punk has nothing, no way or no idea what he's getting himself into."
Nope.
And to tell you the truth, like I look at some of these guys and I look at Punk, and it's just like. I mean, we'll see.
I mean, and his body obviously was broken down. We all heard the Colt Cabana podcast by now. We know all the litany of it.
And we just lost Joe. But yeah, I completely agree. Punk, I love him, but it's not looking good. I mean, I'm not even a fan of UFC or MMA. I don't really watch either of them. So I couldn't really tell you, but I mean, I watched a few of Brock's matches, but other than that, I don't really watch it on a regular basis. I might try to start watching a little bit of Punk's matches just to see where he's at and if he can actually do it, because I don't know. I think he only signed like a 2-year contract though too, so I think he's only going to do it for 2 years, and then I think he's going to be done.
Yeah, I don't see him doing it any longer. But, here's the hypocrisy of CM Punk, if I may. Here's the guy who's bitching about guys, and bear with me for a second, bitching about guys like Brock and The Rock and Hunter and Undertaker and guys who are part-time names taking spots away from the young guys. Isn't it exactly what he's doing in the UFC? A complete rookie. Hasn't had any, experience in the sport. Hasn't had an amateur background. And here's where, Brock and other names will come in. Amateur background. That makes such a difference. And everybody will say it from all the elites of the sport. If there's one thing that you really need, beyond jiu-jitsu, which is nice, and Muay Thai, which is nice, and Punk, seems like he knows a little bit about that, everything like that. It's American wrestling, is amateur wrestling. Brock Lesnar was a national champion. We all know that story right now. We hear it every week when Paul Heyman speaks. We know Brock's credentials. Brock was also a mammoth human being. And all the idiots who think Brock's going to fight Punk at UFC, please get your head out of your ass now. There's something called weight classes. Brock's a heavyweight, and Punk will not fight at light heavyweight at 205. He'll get killed there. 180 or 165 are safer bets. And I don't even think he could beat any of the guys in the top 20 there. UFC ranks all their guys. When you'll see, number 17 ranked, if the number 17 ranked guy in their welterweight or middleweight division beats the hell out of him in 3 minutes, punch, makes him submit, you got to tell me that doesn't hurt the credit of CM Punk? All these wrestling fans who put him on a pedestal, best in the world. And look, he's a role model to me in many ways, but I'm also critical of him. I can see it from both sides. I think he's making a big mistake. I think he should have stuck to the Marvel thing, stuck to the Talking Dead stuff, keep piggybacking off that. He even said that, AJ Lee, she was supporting, but she wasn't thrilled. I'm sure she's not fucking thrilled, right?
I didn't hear about that. Because on Twitter that she's extremely proud wife or whatever, and she showed the picture of him and her, holding on to each other. So cute. But anyways, it's funny because so many people are saying that he's going to use the GTS. And I'm just like, I heard that in a couple of posts, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? I'm like, maybe he might use the Anaconda Vice, maybe, or something similar to that.
Yeah, I mean, he used the triangle choke a lot, as his secondary submission move. That's a move that is a real move. I mean, wrestling fans, again, bear with me for a second. I'm not saying this to you, Haley. But people who are, saying he's going to use the GTS and stuff like that, if you're going to watch UFC, please educate yourself a little bit.
I mean, I don't even watch UFC, and I thought that was hilarious. I even knew that was.
Yeah, but people who are making asinine statements like Punk's gonna fight Lesnar, or he's gonna use the GTS and then blah 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 blah. Please watch the sport and watch how real it fucking is. And I'm not trying. And look, I love wrestling. I fell in love with UFC in the early 2000s with the advent of the Ultimate Fighter series on Spike TV, and like, you know, it's always been a great thing. Like, I have friends that I watch MMA with, I don't watch wrestling with. Like, I mean, like, I'm proud to say I'm one of the few who is both a wrestling fan. Because I feel like a lot of wrestling fans, in their reaction, they're like, yay, he's in UFC. But they don't know what he's getting into. I'm not trying to, like, you know, put myself as this MMA aficionado. I haven't even watched a lot of the sport in the past year because the sport itself has been down. Not just WWE, but UFC buy rates have been down. This is, in many ways, a desperate ploy by Dana White to acquire some viewership and ratings, and it's almost like becoming like the new Monday Night Wars, like with UFC and WWE. But with Punk, I think he'll have the least success. I mean, Ken Shamrock was a guy who started in UFC, went to WWE, was Intercontinental Champion in the 90s, went back to UFC Hall of Famer, pioneer in the sport. Brock Lesnar, no need to go into that. We all know the credentials. You know, and I'll give you some other names that I think can do it. Bobby Lashley, obviously, another guy who has amateur credentials. We knew he had amateur credentials. He got signed for those credentials. He's had pretty good success. Nothing special, not Brock Lesnar success, but pretty good success in Bellator and other minor league organizations. You know, I think a guy like Shelton Benjamin could have success. I think a guy like Kurt Angle, had he done it 5-6 years ago, could have had tremendous success. And had he actually walked away from TNA and done that, I think he could have been a champion with his pedigree, and if he still had some of his health and sanity too. Like, I definitely think Kurt Angle could have done it. Dolph Ziggler, here's a guy who had records at Kent State in wrestling. I think if he left WWE, slimmed down a little bit, he would definitely be a contender in the middleweight or welterweight division. And if you could see a matchup with Punk and Ziggler, I think Ziggler whooped the shit out of him because he's an actual amateur wrestler. You know what I mean? Guys like that, just for example, like there's other guys that come to mind too. But I think, and Alberto Del Rio. And don't be surprised if he goes too. I just have this feeling, because Alberto Del Rio does have an MMA background. He actually fought in Pride, which was almost like the WCW of UFC, of MMA. I mean, like, it was like big Japan organization. Rampage Jackson started there. Vanderlei Silva, a lot of the greats started there. And he fought Shogun Rua under the Dos Caros gimmick with his mask on. He got his ass kicked. But he does have that background. So I could see Del Rio being brought in as well. No doubt about it. And I think he would have much better success than Punk. Any of those guys. Amateur background in the sport. A lot more legitimate.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, well, I don't even watch it, and I definitely want to see his first match and just see what goes on. And I know he's starting in January, actually.
According to Chael Sonnen, who's obviously a big name in the sport, has fought a lot of the big names, John Bones Jones, Punk's going to be not fighting like a ham and egger. He's going to be fighting someone decent. If that's the case, like, Punk are training his ass off. Because I thought maybe they'd protect Punk and maybe give him like a stupid match, the first one, to just kind of protect him. And there's room, the Green Ranger, Jason David Frank challenged him. I don't think UFC would do that. That's too much freak show. It is a legitimate sport. They can't have too much freak show. So, but like, Punk better be careful, and I'm sure they'll announce it in the coming months, maybe January at the big fight they're having there, UFC 183, whatever it is. So, look for that, and we'll end the MMA talk here and get back to wrestling. But that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah. Alrighty. Charlotte came. I was happy to see her. Versus Natalya. I did not like the ending though. Natalya just beat her with a roll up, and I guess obviously because Charlotte beat her first, so I guess now it's 1-1. They're tied.
Yeah. Well, it gives Charlotte an excuse to get called back up. I wonder if, they're kind of calling it her debut. So I wonder if she's going to be on the main roster.
Yeah, she is. They said, my website says, her and Adrian Neville are supposed to be moving up right after the pay-per-view this Thursday.
So, yeah, I think Sammy...
Because they're both probably going to lose, obviously, because...
I think Sammy and Sasha will be your new champions, to give an NXT prediction. And by the way, Kevin Owens, can't fucking wait. Did you see the latest vignette, Haley, of Kevin Owens?
Mm, I haven't
It's on
actually. I need to catch up on
It's
that.
on, it's on the WWE YouTube. It's 2 minutes. It's fucking awesome. He talks about all his history with all the indie Ring of Honor guys that are in WWE. He talks about his history with Seth Rollins, his history
Ooh,
with
that's
Daniel,
good. I definitely want to watch it now.
his history with Sami Zayn, who he calls his best friend, his
Oh,
history.
that's so cute.
Him and Sami are legit best friends. That's how it works.
I didn't even know they were that close. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they had the feud of, like, the decade in Ring of Honor. They had some great matches.
I actually have not seen their feud in Ring of Honor. Maybe I'll look that up tonight.
It's great stuff. They had, the ladder match they had at Ladder Wars was incredible. They put on some amazing shows. Some of the
I actually don't even know if Adam Cole won last night. I'm sure he didn't, but I need to catch up on Ring of Honor.
Minor did a review, so I didn't hear. I heard it was a brutal match, but I didn't hear the finish. I know Minor did a review, so shout out to Michael Minor for watching. Good old buddy.
Yep. I need to catch up on Ring of Honor. I know he's facing Jay Briscoe, I think it was. Yeah, Jay Briscoe is champion right now, so.
I think it might have like fought to like some kind of like maybe double down finish and Briscoe retained the title. From what it sounded like.
Especially since Cole is WWE has been talking to Cole, so excited.
Here's an inside. You want an inside source? I'll give you an inside source right now. I spoke to Maria Kanellis at the Rhode Island Comic-Con and brought this up. I brought up the Ring of Honor television situation, and I brought up Adam Cole. We're talking about the Kingdom, their faction in Ring of Honor. They were supposed to fight in Providence a few months ago. It didn't happen because the event got canceled. But I was like, yeah, like, I hear Cole may be getting signed, and she kind of like facetiously batted her eyes. She's like, yeah, that's the rumor. So like, almost confirmation.
Yeah, they can't. They probably can't say anything about that.
Yeah, but from what I got with that, like I feel like, you know, I'm not trying to throw Maria under the bus here or anything, but from what I got, just the vibe, and this is just me speculating. This isn't me saying Maria told me. This is me saying the vibe I got from her. I think he's the next one. But yeah, the promo, he's like, you know, Daniel Bryan, he was my tag team partner before. He got signed for me. Seth Rollins, I was fighting him in 06. He got signed for me. Adrian Neville got signed for me. Sami Zayn, my best friend, got signed for me. And, like, you know, like, kind of establishes his character that way. It's pretty cool.
Do you think he's going to be a heel or a face?
Heel.
Heel? Yeah.
I think he's one of those heels that's too cool for school. And that's how he was in Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
like,
especially since, you know, Finn and Kent are both faces right now, so it's acceptable to bring in a heel.
Wouldn't be shocked if he goes after Finn and Hideo Itami, actually. Wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it was funny because at first I heard that they were supposed to do they were going to think about doing like a 3-man thing with those three again, and yeah, I think it's better if he's a heel. Because they're lacking on heels right now. Because Adrian Neville will probably definitely turn heel. I hope he makes his debut in WWE as a heel too.
I think he's gonna. I think he'll probably like kind of do the Bo Dallas thing and kind of ride out as a heel and then get called up. Like,
speaking of Bo, I miss him. I hope it's I know he's still injured. I think he should be coming back in another month or something. Maybe he'll be entrant for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen him in the Rumble. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that's about the time he's supposed to come back. So yeah, I know I think he like did something to his foot or something like that.
I believe 40-minute Rumble. It could happen.
Yeah, I think it was like a 3 or 4 month injury. It wasn't a bad injury, so.
He's got a better shot than Zack Ryder. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, definitely. And Santino Marella did the Oh My God moment of the year. And it was the Undertaker defeated streak. Obviously, this was one of the ones that I liked almost every single one of them. I liked the Shield thing. I liked this one, and there was another one I liked too. I can't remember. But Paul Heyman accepts it. Obviously, we knew we were going to see him again. So, and that was obviously, even though I wanted the Shield to win, this needed to win before it because obviously the Undertaker streak is more obviously important than the Shield, even though the Shield thing was definitely shocking and it was last minute. But I actually heard the Undertaker thing was last minute though too. So
4 hours before the show, according to Shawn Michaels. And Vince McMahon said himself on the Steve Austin podcast that it was Vince's decision and no one else's. He put it on himself, and he said he would stand by it. He would do it again, according to Vince. He felt like Undertaker was time to get back to the business.
Yeah, and he said Brock was the hottest thing right now, so he said it was only fair and everything like that. But yeah, it was interesting.
Vince sure does have he sure has a big Brock Lesnar in his pants, huh? The next big thing's popping out of his 69-year-old trousers.
Bray Wyatt, he talks about how he will never forget the first time he saw her, and that was her chair. So obviously that chair is very dear to him. That Dean Ambrose obviously broke last week, and obviously he was saying something that he took something from him. I still think it would have been funny if he took Renee. I'm just like that though. And he said, obviously I know, my website said that he obviously was not injured, so obviously he's fine. And you could tell, too, he actually did a few interviews before. Tonight, if you check his website, too, he did a few interviews, and he was completely fine. He didn't have a neck brace or anything. And he took the neck brace off, obviously, because he
his great
in the ambulance, and he came out, and he tore off the neck brace. And they made it look really good, though. Bray and Dean, I don't know if you've seen it on
the ambulance first started going, I'm like, Scott Steiner?
Yeah, they made it look really good though. Like, I mean, everyone was saying that like Dean sold it really good, and
absolutely.
So, yeah, they were trying to say WWE.com was trying to say like trauma and stuff like that, and he was having problems breathing and stuff like that. And on my website said they're full of shit. It's a kayfabe injury.
They call Cena Superman, but they're really. I mean, Dean can come back from anything. He get his head crushed in cement back in 2 months. Get his throat crushed back in 6 days. I mean, he's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Super Ambrose.
And he starts throwing chairs at him, and he throws the chair in his face, and just all chaos breaks off. So I don't know if do you think their feud's going to end after this month? I think they might go into Royal Rumble. I don't know, though, because this is the end of the new year, so probably all the feuds are probably going to end this year.
I think it's going to end, personally. I mean, here's my thing. What's on the ladder?
Yeah, that's what they keep talking about, standing on front of the ladder. I'm not really sure.
Like, are they just grabbing a sign that says "I'm the better man"? Like, what are they fighting for? They're not fighting
they keep staying on top of the ladder. So I'm wondering if they are, and if that's the case, why didn't they just make it a ladder match?
They should have just had Ziggler and Wyatt over there.
Oh.
Luke Harper would be the only ladder match.
Because I don't know. I thought obviously. I still say the main event still should have been Seth and Ziggler for the briefcase, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I think everyone wanted to see that though.
Yeah, you'd be mad though if Dolph won though. You would be. I'd be ecstatic, but you would be mad.
I would be. I love Dolph, but it would piss me off.
Hashtag heel Ziggler.
I'm just being a little bit biased right there, just a little bit. And I'll get into why I did not like to the ending, too. People are already trying to say it was because Seth didn't win, too. That's full of shit right there.
Yeah, like I said, my girlfriend who is not a Rollins fan and, like, you get the kick out of your admiration for Rollins at times, like, friggin', she even said Seth should have won it. He was the most consistent guy. No doubt about that. Consistency, I mean, like I said, Bryan, Lesnar, Cena, all could have been credible options, but they weren't consistent throughout the year, and Seth was. But like I said, I would have given it to all three Shield guys. That's just me. I'm weird. I would have thought outside the box here. Live, Wrestling Throwdown, Haley Imes, Joe Passarelli. We talking Slammies here on the Google YouTube network. That's how we rolling. And certainly, you know, one of my favorite moments, I don't know if we're coming up to it or not on her notes, one of my favorite moments was the LOL Award, which Mizdow, of course, won. And he came out. Miz wouldn't let him accept the award. So Miz is talking on his behalf, and they're doing the acting techniques. And, you know, Damien Sandow, we're talking about Ziggler. Damien Sandow, another guy whose push continues to seemingly continue, and he continues to thrive, and that's great to see. And we're certainly all rooting for him. And, you know, tag team champions, we'll see how they progress against the Usos with the storyline they got with Trinity and everything. So, certainly going to be interesting. Live on Wrestling Throwdown.
Alright. Alright. It should be fine. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, my computer overheated. I don't even know why, because I turned the fan on. But anyways, like I said, if you guys didn't hear before, like I said, Seth Rollins, the whole thing about Seth Rollins not winning, that was not what it was about. I'm not being like a little fangirl here. That's full of crap. But I'll go into more detail about that later. Sorry about that, Joe.
All right, we're back.
Alrighty. So, Diva of the Year. I was mad about this, Slammy. I think AJ should have won last year. I thought it was Paige's year this time. I thought Paige accomplished more this year and AJ accomplished more last year. But obviously, I did like that AJ put her over in her thing. She says that she was happy and everything, and she hopes that a real diva wins it next year. Like, I think she named Paige, Emma, Sasha, which I was kind of surprised about because I feel Sasha's a little bit kind of a diva-ish, and I didn't think that she would like Sasha. Bailey.
You know, she's got a good character. She's got a good heel character, and, like, she's part of that young crop. Like, clearly AJ has no respect, you know, and this is kind of a shoot, you know, to the Bellas and all the Total Diva bitches, and, you know, like, I think she likes Naomi, but, like, other than that, like, I don't think she really has a lot of respect for these girls. So, like, she put over all the young talent, including Paige, who we haven't seen on TV for a month, and that's starting to be head-scratching. Like, I wonder what they're doing with her now.
Yeah, she's been on Superstars and everything, and she's still been winning her matches and everything, but she's just been on low shows. I don't know why.
Maybe they just wanted to get through this Bella storyline before they put her back in it. I don't know.
I hope, I swear to God, I'm going to scream if AJ wins this Sunday. Because, I swear to God. And it's not even that, like, I know everyone's going to try and say that I'm in love with Nikki now. But no, it's not even that. Like, even if she was facing Cameron, and I like AJ more than Cameron, and that's saying something. But even if it was Cameron that had the title, God, please don't ever happen. But I would still say that I would scream if AJ won because they just have been flip-flopping the title way too much, and AJ's getting way too close. This is going to be her 4th time already. She needs to have a little bit of a break. Give some of the other people. It seems like AJ's just in the title picture 24/7, and it's kind of annoying right now because we haven't seen Paige, we haven't seen, you know, Naomi obviously we've started to see because of the storyline and everything like that. But it's just like, where's Emma? Where's, you know, obviously Emma has gotten in trouble, obviously, so I kind of lost faith about that. But still, it's just give some other people a chance. I think AJ just needs to do something else. Even if she had a feud with one of the divas, that's fine. I don't care. Just stay away from the title picture for a little bit, please. At least 6 months. Give it like half a year.
how about work with Charlotte or work with some of these new girls coming up? Like, you know, it's great to see Charlotte on the main roster. It was a breath of fresh air. Although I will say, like, we talked about the finish and the obvious finish of, like, you know, Natalya going over just for the storyline. I think Charlotte Flair seems like an amazing wrestler and maybe the best female wrestler on the roster already. But she gave away the finish by tucking her neck in so Natty could grab it. Just saying. Little thing I noticed.
Yeah.
You don't do that in the figure four. You drop back. So I thought, like, with her doing that, like, she gave it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Charlotte, so hopefully something. I actually would like to see her. I think it would be a perfect time since she's, you know, coming on the roster, you know, after this Thursday. I don't know how soon, if it's going to be like a month or a week or whatever. But I think it would be good if her and Nikki, she fought for the title for Nikki.
Too soon. Like, I think like that.
You think so? I mean,
I think that.
I know Naomi's going to be with the Usos and everything for a while, and Natalya. I mean, even if she continues, if she continues her feud with Natalya, but I'll have to ask you this: who do you want to face Nikki? Then, because Naomi's going to be busy with the Usos, and then if Charlotte's busy with Natalya, you think Paige maybe? But Paige would have to turn face.
Whatever, like.
Because they can't do heel versus heel matches.
Yeah, I mean, like, with Total Divas coming back, too, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll say Paige.
A funny thing about Total Divas, too, and AJ, I learned about this over the weekend. I guess, I don't know if they've ever said this. I don't know if I just missed it, or they maybe already said this, like, a long time ago, and I just missed it. But this is new to me, so I'm going to say it anyways. The reason why they stopped the AJ and Total Divas thing so fast was because a lot of the Total Divas complained, and they said, like, she was, like, so mean, and they took it really offensively, and, like, they did not like what she said. So she was supposed to feud with them for a while, but notice how it ended really, really fast. So
I mean,
yeah,
I feel
a lot of them complained to Vince and Stephanie and said they didn't like it, so.
Probably specifically the Bellas, and I feel like there's legit heat here with the Bellas. And can you imagine if, like, Nikki walked by AJ and Punk in an airport or something? I don't think there's any love lost there.
I think they actually hate each other in real life, because Nikki was saying something on Instagram. I follow Nikki on Instagram. Don't judge me, but she said that she doesn't get why AJ hates her. She goes, I don't understand. Like, this was like, it almost sounded like a good promo she could use. Like, Nikki is a good talker, I'm telling you right now. She said, I don't get why AJ Lee hates me so much. I did nothing to her. I've worked hard, just as hard as her. You know, maybe I did it a different way than her, but that doesn't mean that I didn't work hard to get here. She thinks if people didn't do it her way, they don't work hard, and that's not true. And, like, she did this whole thing, and I was just kind of like, that's really interesting. I wonder if AJ and Nikki really do kind of have some tension in real life, like backstage and stuff like that.
Guaranteed, like, friggin', you know, in the household, they're sitting there saying, like, which, by the way, the Divas title now resides in the Cena household. But, like, you know, I'm sure they're sitting there saying, oh, Punk and AJ, they're probably such assholes. Like, probably Punk and AJ, same deal. Like, oh, yeah, screw Cena.
Well, Xena and Punk like each other, so it's probably real tension. Like, Xena and Punk want to probably hang out and, you know, be civil at least to one another, because they are friends. And it's just like Nikki, their wife and their girlfriend don't like each other, so it's interesting.
I don't know. He said that John was one of the guys that hadn't contacted him since he left. He's talked to Batista. He's talked to other guys. Like,
because he says John Cena was one of the ones he really only liked. I know him and Chris Jericho. I don't know what happened. I talked about this in the video. I don't know if you've watched it. It was like an hour long, just with me talking. But it was he mentioned Chris Jericho twice. The first part of the video, and then the second part he just did like a week ago. He keeps saying stuff about Chris Jericho, saying like, oh, Chris Jericho's, you know, wondering why I'm not, you know, contacting the certain people. And it's because, you know, certain people are going to use me for their podcast and everything like that. So I think that was the shot at Chris Jericho. He just kind of made like little shots at Chris Jericho. Like, I guess they're like.
And I guess they used to be tight. Did you?
Each other right now. furious.
Did you hear Jericho's response? Jericho responded to it on Talk is Jericho.
Oh, no, I didn't. What did he say?
Well, he explained that, like, he originally was going to have Punk on his podcast before Punk walked out when he was launching his podcast. Punk was going to be one of his first guests. And they talked, like, and he was just going to bring Punk on without telling WWE officials. But Jericho was kind of, like, he's respectful of the WWE process. So, like, and obviously Punk isn't. So, Jericho went to Vince and, like, tried to get Punk on his podcast that way, as opposed to just, like, you know, saying, hey, Punk, like, you know, come on down, we'll hang out, we'll do the podcast. And I think that pissed Punk off. And Jericho was like said it, but I don't think he understood, like, that would probably buy. Hearing Jericho say it, like, because Jericho was like, that's all I did. And, you know, when he left, I texted him up, see if he was okay. Like, he didn't respond. I texted him about, like, music and shit that we used to text about, and he never responded. So since he left, I've never once asked him to be my podcast and blah, blah, blah. And I believe Chris Jericho. I think this is Punk just, you know,
Punk can be an asshole at times, definitely. He's just...
I'm not even saying I don't understand where he's coming from on this one. Like, Punk feels like, you know, like, we're supposed to be boys, but, like, you went over my head and, like, talked to WWE about it. Like, fuck you. Like, it's those little things that'll bug Punk. So I think it goes all the way back to that. And, like, you know, he also mentioned that he didn't want to work Jericho anymore when he came back off his 2-month hiatus, which I did think was
I think Chris took that offensively, too. Obviously, like, Ryback, and that's what I said, too, about the Ryback thing. I go, you know, Ryback shouldn't have said that on Twitter, but you know what? I think...
You know what?
CM Punk obviously hurt Ryback's feelings, and obviously that probably made him look bad, and maybe, you know, other people are probably scared to work with him now too. And I mean, you're laughing and everything like that, but I mean, I did kind of use those words. I said I think he hurt Ryback's feelings because it's the truth. Because Ryback, I mean, this is his career, and I feel like maybe people backstage are looking at him different now and be like, oh, did you really hurt Punk? Oh, I don't want to work in the ring with you now. You're dangerous and stuff. What if you injure me? I can't get injured right now.
I saw the tweet, and I actually thought it was appropriate, and I thought it was actually, like, kind of classy on his part, like, classy enough. And, like, I heard an audio response, too, and, like, he kind of said what you're saying and elaborated. He was like, you know, like, he was saying this shit to Vince, and then my career went to the shits after that, and I didn't go run away. I showed up every day to work and blah, blah, blah. So, like, I can understand where Ryback's coming from. And, again, back to the Punk to UFC thing. You're bitching about Ryback kicking you in your ribs. What are you going to do when some angry Brazilian's hitting you with 20 freaking leg kicks in a row to your rib area? Ever think of that, Phil?
Yeah. He's just, I don't even know. And it's just like, I mean, accidents will happen. And, you know, he was already injured before, so he's like, oh, Ryback made it worse. Anything could have made it worse. Even Daniel Bryan said that his neck was still fucked up, and the Kane thing made it worse. Is that Kane's fault? No. Did he blame Kane? No. It's just like, I love Punk, but sometimes he just drives me nuts.
I'm telling you, he's got to get his karma here. I don't see this ending well for Punk in UFC. I just don't. I see so many other guys having more, and this could ruin it for the Zigglers and the Del Rios and the other guys who could have a legitimate shot at making it. Like, think about it that way too. Those guys could, you know, Ziggler's contract's up in about a year. He could consider making the move. Del Rio's free agent. He's doing indie stuff, Lucha Underground and all that. Like, he could make the move and probably make more money. Like, so if Punk sucks, Dana's gonna get soured on it. Like, I'm telling you right now, that's how he works.
Yeah.
Brock is the only one he'll bring back. That's it.
Eric Rowan versus Luke Harper, and now this obviously Eric Rowan's going to be facing, or Luke Harper's going to be facing Dolph Ziggler for in the ladder match for the Intercontinental, but Eric Rowan is obviously probably going to face Big Show, but I definitely see their feud continuing after this, because obviously this ended in a DQ. They just started bringing steel stops to the ring and everything like that, and just attacking each other. It was a real fast, short match, so obviously their feud is going to be put on pause for right now, because they're obviously going to have a different match right now, so they're going to finish up the Dolph Ziggler thing, and then they're going to finish the Big Show thing. So maybe at Royal Rumble or something like that, or WrestleMania even. You know, since they're supposedly not going to have And that's probably what's going to happen too at WrestleMania. I have a feeling that Randy and Seth are going to face at WrestleMania. So then after their match, Seth can be prepared to cash in if he needs to. They still go with it or whatever.
They both need big matches on the show, and it just makes perfect sense. So that seems like a logical matchup.
Yeah. So I definitely see Eric Rowan and Luke Harper obviously continuing, but right now it's going to be put on pause.
Yeah. I could see Harper losing the strap back to Ziggler and maybe screwing over Eric Rowan, continuing that way. By the way, did you hear they changed the name of the pay-per-view to Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs? TLCS? Not even joking.
Oh my God! I thought maybe Michael Cole actually, because I didn't even hear the ladders. I thought he said, or no, I didn't even hear the chairs part. I thought he said tables, ladders, and stairs, and I thought that was just he accidentally said something that would have been like, "There's Cole again, messing up again," and I would have just been like, "Oh my God, I love him," because Cole just says the funniest stuff. But yeah,
that's literally what you're calling the Tables, Ladders, TLCS. How stupid is that? It's even like the NXT. The NXT show is going to be great on December 11th, but I don't like the name. R Evolution or Revolution with the big R. I think that's kind of some names they're coming up with. It's ugh. God.
Yeah, that is stupid. Naomi and Usos backstage. She congratulated him, and then Jay walked away, and then she talks about Miz's agent and everything, and she says, they think I'm good and everything like that. I could go to Hollywood. And Jimmy says that he's going to Hollywood, too, because he doesn't trust Miz. And then she goes, so you don't trust me? And he goes, that's not what I'm saying, and everything like that. She goes, so you don't think I'm talented? And so just an argument kind of goes out and everything like that. So obviously this is Miz's plan to kind of make them argue, and obviously maybe Jimmy think about their marriage and everything and think about her more, and so he gets distracted and everything like that. So it's obviously Miz's plan.
Yeah, no, it's working, and the whole angle works.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One of the better storylines going on right now. So
one of the few good storylines going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
When's
the last time a tag team feud has had a storyline? Seriously. It's been a while.
Maybe the Rhodes Brothers versus the Shield? Maybe?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and that was what? At least a year ago.
Oh, yeah, that was when the Shield...
Over a year ago. So, it's been quite a while.
The Rhodes Brothers.
They need to freshen up. And even that wasn't even, amazing. So I think, yeah.
But they had quickly. Once they dropped the tag titles, the Golden Stardust or the Rhodes Brothers or whatever.
I thought they lost those titles way too fast. That was just my opinion. I think they barely had it for 4 months.
What,
and I guess that's the average length of when you're supposed to hold a title, so I guess it's not that bad. But I felt for their first titles, I think they need to hold it for 6 months.
Team Hell held them for about a year, but and their storyline was about each other, not even about their opponents. So you got like I said, like you said, with Naomi's aspect, you got Mizdow and his entertainment. It's got a lot of factors here that I really like in the storyline.
Yeah. Adam Rose presents the LOL moment of the year. And Mizdow wins, and Miz grabs the Slammy, and we think he's obviously going to thank Mizdow for everything, and he thanks the moneymaker.
Yes. They just continue to entertain, continue to be...
you should mimic me while I'm talking, and I should mimic you. People would our viewers would probably kill us, and they would be like, stop doing that.
Dislike. Entertaining. I love it. I can't wait for my Mizdow shirt to come in.
Oh, did you order one? I need to order. Yeah. My debit card for work is nuts, and I want to order my Seth and my frickin' Dean Ambrose hoodie. I'm gonna wear both at the same time.
Eventually, I'll get the Seth one, the shirt or the hoodie. Like, I'm just like, I'm in the Mizdow right now, and I picked up.
Yeah,
an
I like
NWO
Dean
one.
Ambrose's hoodie better, and then I like Seth's t-shirt better. So,
Yeah.
rock 'em both.
There you go. Believe.
Rusev comes out then after that, right after, and they make Jack Swagger versus Rusev, TLC, the U.S. title. Now, I think this is going to go all the way to WrestleMania, because if they don't have a pay-per-view before WrestleMania, or, well, like, you know, in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, I think that they could maybe have, like, a stupid finishing after this one, and then even Royal Rumble something happen, and then, obviously, they can build up to something really big. Maybe Zeb can leave Jack Swagger or something like that, or they can, like, play mind games with Zeb and try to say that he's going to screw or leave Jack Swagger or whatever. Something with Zeb can play into this, and then obviously Jack Swagger hopefully winning the title at WrestleMania.
You're pulling for this. I mean, it would be great. You know what? I will say, in defense of what you're saying, the crowd's still into him. I mean, they haven't. The We the People chants are still really strong. He's over. So, I mean, it would be a great moment for him in his career. I still feel like it's going to be Ryback. It's just a gut feeling.
And you know what? You know who was always a fan? Everyone was trying to say to at first that he sucked and he shouldn't have been world champion. I loved him since I seen him.
He's always been a great wrestler. I've never been a huge fan of his promo ability. I think he's gotten a little bit better. And
yeah,
I wish he had Zeb.
List is kind of, you know.
He had Zeb back in the ECW run, and then when he won the world title, would have been much better than the Soaring Eagle stuff. I felt like they tried to make him like the new Kurt Angle, and I didn't think that did him any favors.
I like the Zeb thing. I hope Zeb stays with him for a while, too. I hope Zeb doesn't turn on him anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, he's the real American. It just made him different. The all-American, the colors, it was just too Kurt Angle-ish. Like, and Kurt Angle, there's only one Kurt Angle. Like, you can't duplicate that.
Yeah, and yes, he still has his ankle lock, but I think that works for him, you know? It's not like, I mean, Kurt Angle, you know, there's so many moves, too, that people steal anyways, and so many moves that are similar, so I think that's good for him to have for a submission.
One of the best things I ever heard him say, I think it was on Twitter, he posted, he was like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Ken Shamrock, that's why I use the ankle lock. Like, well, it's true, though. Like, I mean, it's been used. How many people use the sharpshooter or the figure four? Like, a move's a move, whatever.
Yeah. And she talks about, like, the real LOL moment is you real Americans, Lana talking. And I also found some little statistics about Lana. She technically is from Russia. She was born in Russia, or like a part of Russia, and that's why she speaks modern Russia. But she's from Florida now, and so is Rusev. And he was also born from Russia too, because people were trying to say that he's not from Russia either. They are technically both from Russia. They were born from Russia and born in Russia and everything like that, or part of Russia. But
he was actually born in Russia.
Yeah, they live in Florida now. I don't know for how long they've lived in Florida, so technically, but yeah. But she speaks. That's why she's, you know, doing that, because she speaks fluently, I guess. So
probably since they've been in developmental at the very least.
Yeah. And Jack Swagger comes out and he says, you know, you broke Zeb's ankle or whatever, or foot or something like that, or leg, something. Yeah, I think leg, he said. And so now I'm gonna snap your ankle, and he attacks him and then puts ankle lock on him, and he doesn't want to let go, and yeah. Yep. I think, you know what I think might happen, because there's so many matches? I have a feeling that he's going to try and say that he can't wrestle. And that's how the first match is going to go. Because if they do this right at WrestleMania, that's what they could do for TLC. Is they could say, oh, I'm not qualified, I can't wrestle because you hurt my ankle. So, blah, blah, blah. And then they can have their match. I mean, they can do this. Because I have a feeling they're doing this. They have to be doing this for a reason, to bring Jack Swagger back into the Rusev thing. They have to be doing this for a reason.
I mean, it seems like there's a payoff coming. I mean, like, yeah, so I can't disagree. It would be pretty cool. I'm still saying Ryback. But one more thing. This company loves beating on old men, huh? Like, God, poor Zeb.
I love Zeb. But yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Jack Swagger. Usos and Ryback versus Kane, Miz, and Miz. Now, wasn't that a weird 6-man tag team match? It was weird. And they made obviously Kane versus Ryback, and it's going to be a chairs match.
Ugh. Too many gimmicks.
That one was coming. So now they got the chairs, the ladders match, the TLC, and the tables match. Then there's your 4 right there.
And your stairs match.
Oh, do they have really a stairs match?
Big Show and Eric Rowan is a stairs match. You know
I didn't even know I didn't even hear that one. Oh wow.
The pay-per-view is now tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs.
That's
TLC.
so stupid. That is so stupid. I thought maybe I don't know. That's. I thought maybe that they were just gonna use the stairs, but that's stupid. For all the matches.
Stair match.
Yeah, that's stupid. Alrighty.
Stairmaster.
And Usos and Ryback win. Nothing too special about that. The Usos won greatest tag team now. The year.
Yeah, well deserved. They were the best tag team, most consistent. They held the titles for the majority of 2014. Beat the legendary New Age Outlaws. Lived through the Wyatts, and now they're back in the title picture, having a good feud. So, in wrestling this year, they were the #1 tag team, not just in the WWE, in any company. They were the #1.
Yeah. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That was awesome seeing him. Match of the year. I didn't agree on this, but I'm really happy Dolph Ziggler won this. This was good for him. I know he won the best social media or something like that. Something with social media. I know he won that too earlier in the night, but this was obviously the big thing. It was Team Xena versus Team Authority, and so obviously Dolph Ziggler accepts the Slammy. So I thought that was pretty awesome because this was like his biggest thing in his career. So he deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, again, I was saying at the beginning of the show, Haley, this award is usually reserved for the likes of the Shawn Michaels and the Undertakers and people like that. For him to get an award in that category, I mean, a lot of times Match of the Year is even more important than Superstar of the Year in many cases. And, no one can take this away from Ziggler. He got Match of the Year. The crowd has been believing in him. His speech came off very genuine, almost like he was tearing up a bit. I don't know if you caught that. Looking very Billy Gunnish with his hair in a ponytail. Very Billy Gunnish. But other than that, I loved it. I mean, it's about time they're treating him like he's important. It's great to see.
My brother's trying to say that they're burying him again because they made, Dolph Ziggler, lose his stuff. I go, that's not burying him. I go, Justin, seriously, they had to make Seth look good, and he even cheated to win anyway to make Dolph still look strong. So it's, if anything, they made Seth look bad, so. But yeah. AJ Lee versus Summer Rae, and she's kissing the Slammy. So that's why I also think that she might not have the title for a while, because she might just carry around the Slammy for a while, for a few months. She might kiss that, how she always has to kiss a certain object.
When does Punk start getting jealous of her kissing all these inanimate objects?
And they made AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella. TLC. So, yeah, they have a lot of matches, so I would not be shocked if Rusev and Jack Swagger did not happen.
It's either going to be the pre-show or it could get bumped with that. I mean, that's a good storyline, like you said.
Yeah, the pre-show technically is the Stardust and Goldust thing and versus the New Day. So, I mean, they had 2 matches, though, for the last pay-per-view. Yeah. For the pre-show, so it's possible. But, yeah. I think they know what they're doing. I think they planned it. I think they're just like, well, you know what? If they were smart, they're like, well, if he's gonna win at WrestleMania and blah blah blah, so we'll have them not even wrestle each other this month, and then at Royal Rumble will probably be like a stupid finish, and then WrestleMania he can obviously win.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was selling that ankle injury hard, so there's certainly the seeds there to do that.
Yeah. RVD. Oh, God, this is another guy I hate.
RVD alone.
I know my brother hates it when I say this too. I can't stand him. Extreme moment of the year. I know people are probably gonna hate me for all this. I'm probably gonna get a whole bunch
I
of
mean, they
like.
could give extreme moment and an ECW alum like Rob Van Dam. It's not like he was out wrestling. I mean, he's lost a few miles on his fastball. He comes and puts people over like a good soldier. Like, I don't know why people like. I mean, I get it. Like, I made a video comparing him and Jericho and saying Jericho's in better shape, and Van Dam. It's getting hard to watch some of his matches, but I got no problem with him coming out and being treated. I mean, again, like, he is someone special, being a presenter. He will be in the Hall of Fame one day. It's no doubt about it.
99.9% of the people I talk to love him. So I'm like the only one I know that does not like him. So
And I've met him twice.
like
He's been
I
nice
said,
to me.
I don't like weird people, and I love the people that everyone hates. So
I mean, he's a Michigan guy, Battle Creek, Michigan. He's one of the own.
oh, I like Eric Bischoff. I love him, and he's a Michigan guy.
Like, I thought he was from Milwaukee.
No, or at least I know he lives in Michigan at least. So,
He's in the cars.
because I did a report on him. So
Oh.
I did a speech. Yeah. I know someone famous from Michigan, and I was just like, hell yeah, I'm going to talk about Eric Bischoff and how he was the greatest GM and everything like that. Hell yeah. People loved it, though. They loved it. They thought it was great.
Oh, or at least.
They're like, a girl doing this, they're like a girl doing a wrestling speech, they're like, that's so cool. But, yeah.
And Bischoff, of all people, I would have went with Steiner or Nash or RVD. Like, you got a bunch of them from Michigan.
Yeah.
Rhino.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked Eric Bischoff. I thought was the best one to do, just because I grew up with him, and it was right when I started watching. Was right when he came in, pretty much, and I fell in love with him. Like, I was like, this guy is fucking great. It was just like, I loved it when he yelled at people and everything. It was just so great.
No wonder why you like Matt.
Even when I was 9 years old, I loved heels. I'll always be a heel lover. I like the bad boys. What can I say?
Gotta love
it. Chris Jericho wins, which was cool. I still think Seth should have won this one again.
I disagree. For a 40-plus-year-old man to be jumping off the cage, very impressive.
Yeah, but he's in such good shape, though.
Yeah, I mean, DDP yoga is a wonderful thing. He jumping up. He hadn't done that since before he was even in ECW. He saved that
I did think
spot.
it was interesting who accepted it, though. Fandango.
Yeah, bringing back that old feud. I mean, I would have rather. I mean, Jericho's obviously got to be there next week, so I'll probably just take it from Fandango. I could see that happening. His old nemesis. Wrestling Throwdown. Of course, I think that brings us to the Superstar of the Year. I think we're almost done. I know they had that climactic tag team match to finish up as well, but Superstar of the Year, obviously we talked about it. Roman Reigns. Ay, Roman Reigns. Why? Why did you do this to us, man? Here, live Wrestling Throwdown. Joe Passarelli waiting on Haley here. But yeah, folks, Roman Reigns winning the Superstar of the Year. SMD
Okay, that'll work. Sorry about that, guys. Alrighty, let's just wait for Joe. Oh, this thing is pissing me off today. Google Hangouts doesn't like my computer on for more than an hour. It freaks out. If it's more than 45 minutes to an hour, it'll freak out and it'll just keep overheating. So sorry about that. Alrighty. But Fandango accepted it. I thought that was interesting. He talked about his little WrestleMania win and everything like that. So it's interesting.
And it was all downhill from there.
Yeah. I just, a lot of people said it sounded like he was a little bit more Johnny Curtis.
I mean...
More a little bit funnier and kind of sexual.
Definitely sexual. That conveyed, it was really his first promo since he's been back, so it was interesting to hear him talk again.
Yeah. I still wish they would have went with the whole face thing for him, especially if, they got all these master heels and everything like that, and then they got Adam Rose turning heel and everything like that. I feel like they should have bring him back as a face, but that's just my opinion. Give him a face run. See what he can do with it.
Ironically enough, I think him and Adam Rose could have been an interesting little tag team there.
Yeah.
Had both been executed properly.
Yeah. No, I did think this was funny. Me and my brother both started laughing when we seen this with the RVD thing. When Fandango tried to grab the award, RVD just goes and then flips away. I just thought it was so funny. It's like he didn't give a damn. It's just like, oh well.
I met RVD twice. Once at a TNA house show in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And, we met him in the parking lot. And he goes up to me and my radio partner, the Jazz Man, and he's like, hey, guys, you know where I can get some Chinese food? And we're like, sorry, man, we're from Rhode Island. We could have had dinner with him. And then I saw him at Comic Con.
Did he recognize you? Is that why he asked you, or did he just ask you to ask you?
And said, nice to meet you, sir. We didn't overly mark, but we kind of did the, nice to meet you, thank you for what you've done. I actually had an RVD DVD in my, little bag of stuff, because they were doing signings inside. But I didn't have to sign it or anything. I just had him.
Yeah, I heard he's actually a really cool guy.
And he actually got me on his Tweet Secret at Rhode Island Comic Con. He was filming for his Tweet Secret, which is his new social media app. He's on it, Jericho's on it, and they're pushing it. It's kind of like a Snapchat more for videos. And he got me on it, cutting a promo, hey, Rhode Island Comic Con, whole effing show, blah blah blah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then I walked by him and took a picture because I didn't feel like paying $20 to take a picture with him.
Booker T Superstar of the Year. Oh God.
Tell me you're gonna just.
I have so much stuff to say about this, and I'm overheated. Obviously, I feel like anyone, even if I, wasn't in love with Brock Lesnar winning, and I wasn't in love with John Cena winning, I still felt like they did more than who won. And no, it's not just because Seth didn't win. I would have been happy with Dean. I would have been happy with Bray Wyatt. Heck, I would have been happy with John Cena or freaking, Brock Lesnar, because at least they did more. Roman Reigns won, obviously, and I have a feeling that 8% of who voted for him were girls. And as you guys can see, you guys obviously liked my comment I left in the group, because it's the truth. Every girl just gets overly excited when they see him come out. I'm not one of them, thank God. But it's just, he didn't do anything. I felt like I know Carmelo and everything, a guy in the group, he was trying to say that, he had a good, little feud with Randy. I go, and what? I said, that's all he did. I go, let's name off all the stuff that Seth did this year, Let's name off all the stuff that Dean did. Let's name off all the stuff that Bray did. Even Brock and John Cena did,
He did break Kane's elimination record in the Rumble, and it looked like he could have won the Rumble. So just to play devil's advocate. But yeah, like that's why I had actually advocated why not give it to the complete Shield. He gave Breakout Superstar of the Shield last year. To me, the 3 co-MVPs, if you're gonna give it just to Roman, give it to all 3, because all 3 from the start of 2014 to the finish were all part of the pivotal storylines and the best matches on the card and everything. So honestly, like. And you could have had the awkward little moment with the 3 of them there, it could have been interesting.
I think it would have been awesome if they would have just did one, because the Shield, I think, won 2 awards or something like that, and I think it would have been awesome if they would have just stood one on live television, just so they could have just all came out and they could have just been like, I'm going to take the Slammy because I was in charge. No, I took the music and the clothes. So, like, Roman could have been like that, and he goes, I'm taking the Slammy, and Dean goes, no, I'm better than both of you, give me the damn Slammy. They could have all fought over the Slammy, and they could have, like, broken up into 3 pieces. They could have just...
Yeah. It could have been very entertaining, and like just interaction with the Shield guys, the 3 of them. We haven't got a lot of it since the split, and why hasn't it been a 3-way feud? It should have been.
They said that they're going to do something at Royal Rumble. If they're still going to do the rumor, it's supposed to be those last 3. I think the last 4 are actually supposed to be Bryan and the Shield members, and the last 3 are supposed to be Seth, Roman, and Dean.
That's definitely whetting my appetites. I've heard that rumor as well, and that would be cool to see. But that's just again, maybe not everybody sees it that way, but that's why I would have done. Give it to the 3 of them. Because I feel like WWE, I don't trust the votes on this one. I think they rigged it because he was there, and they wanted to give him a pop to start his 2015 push. And it was a very nice pop. Like, I thought the crowd reacted well. I thought his promo was pretty good. All things considered. I don't think he got that much better at promos.
Me and a buddy in the group think he still needs a lot of acting classes, but...
Yep. I agree. I mean, work with guys like Jericho. Work with The Rock. Like, work with guys who even Jey Uso's gotten better at his talking. Like, you've got family there at your disposal. Never mind like the guys like the Chris Jerichos and you hung with Dean Ambrose for 2 years. You should have picked something up. So.
Yeah, it was just stupid. Whatever. Yeah. But I guess it's to make up that the last year's Superstar of the Year was actually awesome, and I think everyone, at least 90% of wrestling fans enjoyed it. So.
See, when Daniel won it last year, it was like surprising but awesome surprising because they'd shit on him all year, but it really was his year, but they just kept shitting on him, and for him to get that, it was like Ziggler winning the match of the year this year. It was like kind of like that. All right, they respect him.
It was awesome.
Someone respect. Yeah.
John Cena versus Big Show, and I just heard a Dean Ambrose interview. He did it, I think it was earlier, actually, yesterday, and they said that the main event was supposed to be Seth, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena and Dean. That's what the main event was supposed to be. I don't know why they changed it. I guess to act like Dean still wasn't there, even though he did end up being there, so that was stupid.
Just didn't want to main event 2 tag team matches in a row and 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah, I think they probably would, there's too many tag team main events, so maybe that's why they wanted to just do a one-on-one, especially since Big Show and John Cena still haven't really did anything after Big Show knocked him out, so I guess it's safe to say that this is over. They did it in a DQ anyways. Seth saved Big Show and tagged Cena. And then Dolph comes out and Big Show knocks out both Ziggler and Cena, and then Eric Rowan. And pretty much all of Team Authority and all of Team Cena come out. And Seth eventually puts Cena through a table, and Team Authority stands strong.
Boy, what did Mark Henry do? Something? What happened to him?
Yeah, where was he last night?
Where's he been since he lost in 2 minutes at Survivor Series? He's been off TV.
He was on there last week.
No, he wasn't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't think he was. I don't think he's been. I think him and Paige are both.
He was supposed to have Daniel Bryan was in charge last week, wasn't he? Or no,
yeah.
not last week. No, not last week. That was the week before. Sorry.
2 weeks ago.
I'm confused.
He lost to Ryback in that.
So yeah, I don't know. Was he there last week? Then he might not have been.
No, it was last week was the computer. It was 2 weeks ago when Brian hosted.
It was 2 weeks ago. Okay, so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
He did the 5-minute squash against Ryback, and we haven't seen him since then. That's what it was.
Yeah. Oh well. Who cares?
I'm not trying.
They obviously there's stuff going on that maybe it's going to go either way with John Cena or Seth winning. Seth needs to win. It's a damn tables match. It's not like he's going to pin him or submit him. And here's a little known fact for you. If you guys can pick up the Seth magazine, they're friends in real life. They're good buddies. Seth takes him to CrossFit and everything. So I feel like John Cena would have enough respect for him to let him, go over one damn night without getting pinned or submitted. I mean, it's just going through a damn table. He's probably going to cheat anyway, so it's like, what the hell? I think he needs to.
At the end of the day, it's Kennedy McMahon who has that call and not John Cena, so it's all what the boss wants.
Yeah. But, yeah. That's pretty much it. Can't believe TLC's already this Sunday. Me and you got to do a prediction show this week.
Yeah, we'll fit that in tomorrow. Thursday I'm not going to be available, and Friday might be tough as well, so hopefully we can fit that in tomorrow, if that works for you.
Yep.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Well, thanks guys so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. And don't forget to join our Facebook group. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.